The rumour mill's churning once again, this time around the prospect of a divorce. And if Harry and Meghan do call it quits, it's bound to settle a burning question that's been lurking in the shadows. Do Archie and Lilibet actually exist? If Harry and Meghan file for divorce without a peep about child support or custody arrangements, we'll all have our answer. Either the kids are real or they've pulled off the greatest magic trick in royal history. Now, according to Bark, Jack and X, Harry and Meghan are still very much an item, albeit a somewhat rocky one. Apparently the palace is concocting plans to help Harry navigate the potential storm if a divorce becomes a reality. This isn't a grand scheme to reinstate him as a working royal. No. They're just looking out for him as a family member. But the palace isn't going to swoop in to save the day until the divorce papers are actually filed. And even then they're likely to hand Harry a few choice words to use against Meghan rather than a cheque to cover his legal fees. The royal family must be careful after all. If William's king by the time this all goes down, Harry might find himself in a precarious position with very little assistance. The royal safety net seems to be more of a tattered old blanket at this point. Now, let's consider the actual implications of a divorce. Will Harry suddenly discover the joy of fatherhood? What happens to the Invisikids? Are they still on the line of succession, or do they vanish into the ether? Just imagine the chaos if Harry decides to add more kids into the mix. It could throw the entire royal lineage into disarray, and I don't think the Waleses are ready for that kind of family reunion. Here's where things get truly intriguing. If custody battles arise, it's a clear sign that those two little munchkins are in fact real. But if the court documents come up dry, then there never were any kids. Can you picture the palace's reaction if they find themselves having to admit that Harry's beloved children were all a carefully constructed facade? We might also want to consider some pertinent questions. Did Meghan really give birth to both kids? Are they really Harry's biological offspring? Did they pop out in a hospital or some mystical land where they were whisked away by unicorns? The speculation could keep tabloids in business for years to come. And speaking of invisibility, let's ponder Harry's current whereabouts. Just because he hasn't been spotted doesn't mean he's off gallivanting somewhere. He and Meghan have perfected the art of living life under the radar, only emerging when it's conveniently arranged for the paparazzi. It's all smoke and mirrors. They might still be shacked up together in California, dreaming up new schemes to keep their names in the headlines. So while we sit back and watch this soap opera unfold, one thing's for certain. If Harry and Meghan do decide to pull the plug on their marriage, we're in for one wild ride. Will the truth about Archie and Lilibet finally come to light? Will the palace finally take a stand?